Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Roger in Kansas City. And I am your host, Roger. You know, August became a very hectic month for me, and I got behind on video making and a lot of other things, like correspondence. So, if you're waiting to hear back from me, I will get back with you. My apologies. You know, sometimes things just pile up on a person unexpectedly. I've been working on a video about the Sphinx for about the past month, off and on, and that was supposed to be the next video coming out. This is not the Sphinx, obviously. It's the Grand Canyon. Now, I don't want to beat the Grand Canyon to death, but here we go. Someone sent me this picture and said, I think you should take a closer look at this. And I'm like, well, okay. Because I get a lot of submissions, and I appreciate every single one, and don't hesitate to send me submissions. I'm rogerinkc1@gmail.com, and I will have that in the information box below the video. This is extraordinary because I've done a couple of videos on this area. So let's just get right into it. This is Chuar Butte, Chuar, right here. And this is Temple Butte, right here. In 1956, two planes collided into each other over this area, and a TWA plane crashed right about here, and a United Airlines aircraft crashed almost directly into this embankment right here. This is the first view I've had of the area from this angle. There's a lot of things we're going to look at in this area. We're going to start right here first on this cliffside, and we'll refer back and forth to this picture as I'm showing you where we are looking. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to look here first. So I've moved in closer to this embankment here, and you can begin to see that there's a pattern, like a petroglyph or a painting. The distinction between the two, one being a petroglyph's a carving, and a painting is, a painting. Or it's a painted petroglyph. And my best measurements on Google Earth, and at the end of the video I'll show you the location of this area on Google Earth. But it's so distorted, it distorts the measurements also. So my best guess is this is approximately 200 feet long. And this entire area being probably around 500 feet in width. So we have this here, and we have this beneath it. We have what appear to be, they're either carvings or individuals peeking out from behind the rocks over here. Let's take a closer look. Here we have the petroglyph. We'll just call it petroglyph. Is this an alien gray head? You can see his eyes here and here. Okay. And there's a guy peeking over the ledge right here. We'll pull back out. Here we are looking at the area. It's a little more. I've adjusted the contrast a little bit. So here we see the petroglyphs. Here's our guys here. And then we have some carvings here. Now, look at this guy right here. We're going to zoom in on him. Is that a feather headdress? Is this a depiction of a Native American? It could be. That's one possibility. Well, okay. Let's see. Pull back out. We're going to take a look over here to the right of this area next. So I have moved to the right just a little bit. The petroglyph area is right over here. But it looks like we're beginning to see, standing within the cliff face, some humanoid type beings. Especially this one in the center right here. Let me get my marker out. This guy right here, with maybe some smaller people standing beneath him. Now these smaller people, well, let's just put them in the 60 to 70 foot range. And this guy might be standing on a higher level, but it would put him well over 100 feet tall. There's another kind of strange face behind it also. You can see his eyes looking down that way. Let's just take a closer look at this person. Here he is. Kind of has this Dracula look to him. And you can see that these are humanoid faces. I'm very familiar with Mud Fossil University and the works of my same name colleague, Roger, out there, and I think he does a great job. There's a lot of credence to what he says, but sometimes I don't think everything's a mud fossil, which I think a lot of people tend to just say that's got to be a mud fossil. I think these guys are alive, and I think they live within the earth. I think what we're seeing are openings that they can come out and kind of get some fresh air, I suppose. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our big picture. Okay, so pulling back out, we just looked at this area where the petroglyph is. This is where the Native American is. Carvings all along here. Over here is where the giant standing within the cliff face is. Next, we're going to look over here at this area. This again is the embankment where the United Airlines plane crashed. And the reason I keep referring back to that is because it was a terrible disaster at the time where so many people were killed. But I honestly believe it wasn't just the people in the plane that were killed. I believe that individuals that lived in this area were also killed, which just made it that much worse. And the U.S. government, whomever is in charge of this area, knew what was going on, and it just made things, it just compounded things. These planes crashed in the worst possible area they could have crashed. It's like they crashed in a populated human area, but they crashed in a populated non-human area. Okay, so we're going to look at this area right down here next. Here we go. Here's the embankment where the United Airlines plane crashed back in the 50s. We see this white face. Now, I think this could possibly be just a carving or painting or depiction. It could also be a real individual standing right there. But we have more carvings all around it. And I've done a lot on this area. Please check out my other Grand Canyon videos. Let's look at the area right below it. Now, we were just looking up here, but now we're looking at this. Let me get my marker out. This appears very much to be a structure, like a building. But it's not to the scale of the giant individuals that live around there. This is far more the scale of a human-sized building. I believe it is very possible that at some point they built a post for the people who guard this area, military or secret police, whatever they are. But you see there's a 90-degree wall here. We have this stepped area, which I believe is part of the wall. More, this is rooftop, more rooftop. So that is plainly not a geological formation. There's too many 90-degree angles. We have this guy here. See the white face? Now we just saw another white face right before this, but it really did look two-dimensional. This guy looks three-dimensional. So here's the white face, here's the black cloak that they usually wear when they go outside. The white face, I think this is a mask. If you lived within the earth most of the time, you're not going to have a good level of resistance to sunlight. So you're going to have to cover your body completely with a cloak and probably a mask and eye protection. And then all along this embankment you can see some smaller 90-degree square shapes all throughout here. There's something there. Let me take another look at this building. This is just another shot of it. Again, is that a really tall person right there? And you see this kind of rounded pipe or hose. That's not, again, a natural formation. And one more. It's just a little bit lighter. That's totally untouched. I haven't done anything. That's how it looks in the picture. And we're looking easily from a couple of miles away. So that's as good as it's going to get. Let's continue. Here's a close-up of this giant right here. Here's the structure we were just looking at. Right next to the structure, we have this kind of 90-degree building here. But take a look at this little guy here. And he's not little. But this is really what they look like. Here's his arm, there's his face. And it occurs to me that you would have big eyes if you lived underground. So would alien greys, if they're truly alien. Right next to the giant with the white face, which is over here, right beneath it is this area that looks like a structure, or two structures. And I'm not going to get into that too much, I'm just throwing that in. But I want you to look behind it. You see this face with the mouth and the eyes. Let's take a closer look at it. Now, this is a perfect example of the type of work they do. They are prolific artists, and they are really good at what they do. And this is not just in the Grand Canyon. It's everywhere, all around the world, in the Patagonia and the Himalayas. But it's really interesting how you get this kind of stylized caricature going on, and that is very indicative of their work. And you can see a number of drawings and figures all around it. Right next to that area we have this cliff area, and this looks like a large statue right here. That is either a statue or a being right next to it. Let me fill that in. Here's that statue. Every time you see a white face, it's more than likely one of them. And here's the statue more close up. They're very good artists. And I'm not saying that to be funny. That's truly a good description of what they are. And this is where we started. And we'll leave off with the petroglyph for this video. If that was all that's there, that would be an amazing find into itself. But everything else that's with it, it just goes on to be more evidence that there is a civilization, a current living civilization in the Grand Canyon. But not just limited to the Grand Canyon, they're everywhere. And they're probably right beneath many of us right now. I hope they don't pop out and get us. If they do, well, we had a good run. Okay, so let's go to our next little segment here. I'm just going to leave off and show you where this location is, because I get this question all the time. Where's the location? So I'm going to show you that next. So let's go to Google Earth. Here's what the area looks like on Google Earth. As you can see, it's really detailed. You know, Google Earth is just, in areas like this, it can just kind of show you a basic layout, but it's not going to show you anything. If you want to see your house or Paris, it's great, but for areas like this, forget it. Especially areas they're trying to hide. So the petroglyph is about right here, and we were looking all around in this area for this video. This is the embankment where the plane hit over here. Okay, this again is Temple Butte, Chwar Butte, Colorado River. We're going to pull out. And let me get this oriented here for you. We were just over here looking this direction. This is the confluence of the Colorado River and the Little Colorado River. So if you find this confluence, you will have found the location right there. It's where these two rivers meet up. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. More is on the way. Hope I get the Sphinx done here pretty soon. You'll be amazed at that. That these guys live everywhere. We are not the only game in town, and our fearless leaders know it. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a nice day. I am Roger in Kansas City, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.